92.3 WTTS, and one of the bands whose name appears on the cover. I am particularly excited to welcome my guest this morning. I can't tell you how many times Stereogum has come in handy for me. They've got such good writers on staff, and I get a lot of information from them. And their managing editor has written a new book called Such Great Heights, The Complete Cultural History of the Indie Rock Explosion, which is exciting for me. He's in town tomorrow night for a book signing and Q&A. Also exciting. Chris DeVille, so great to have you.
So great to be here, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
How cool that you're going to be here, and that our own Dave Lindquist is going to moderate this Q&A and book signing tomorrow night at Golden Hour Books. So this sounds like a great one. Who would you say this book is for?
This book, I would say, is, it's kind of tracing the evolution of indie rock in the 21st century. Anyone who has ever considered themselves a fan of indie music will enjoy the book, whatever indie music means to them. And that's one of the big themes of the book, is kind of the way that the meaning of the word indie has been kind of stretched and morphed. It was always kind of hard to pin down the meaning. But I think even if you don't really think of yourself as a big indie music person, I also wrote it to be kind of a time capsule for millennials. I write a lot about how the music connected to pop culture in general and just culture in general over the 2000s and 2010s, ways that it connects with sort of just the broader culture. And I think that people will see their own lives reflected back in the story that I'm telling.
I love that description of indie rock. It's kind of like indie rock. I've always kind of seen it as like a moving target that does not want to be hit. It probably hates the term indie rock. But I don't know, with that in mind, what did you set out to write? And then what did it kind of turn into?
So my original subtitle for the book was How Indie Rock Went Pop. And my thought was, when I first came on staff at Stereogum in 2013, we were at a time when all of the hottest quote unquote indie music was really poppy. Like, I'm talking about like Churches and Haim and indie branded pop artists like Sky Ferreira and Charlie XCX was first coming out, and Lana Del Rey and Grimes. I was interested in sort of tracing, how did that happen? Like, because when I got into indie rock, like around the year 2000, it was quite a change in the music and the culture around the music, from 2000 up to maybe like 2015. And then you even get to the point where, Taylor Swift releases Folklore, and she works with Aaron Dessner from The National and a bunch of indie musicians on that, and people call it her indie album. And it's like, it's the biggest album of the year on a major label, wins the Grammy for album of the year. It's like, there's nothing really indie about it other than like as an aesthetic. And so it kind of became this exploration of like the evolution of the term indie itself. But then I was surprised that it also turned into sort of a shadow history of the internet over the last couple decades. Napster and MP3s and iTunes and MySpace. All those things have a major impact on the story that I'm telling. And it ended up being like really about the ways that indie music influenced the mainstream, and then the mainstream kind of influenced indie music right back.
A fascinating study, a fascinating exploration, I'm sure, among the pages of Such Great Heights, The Complete Cultural History of the Indie Rock Explosion, which is out now. Author Chris DeVille will be at Golden Hour Books, 52nd and College, tomorrow night for a Q&A and book signing that Dave Lindquist, our own Dave Lindquist, is going to moderate. And Dave hooked me up with you, and I'm so glad that he did. It's been so great to talk with you this morning, Chris. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to being in Indianapolis.